And this is a problem when you get royalty-free music that only lasts 4 minutes. honestly, I ran out of time and the world ran away with me. And I thought, by the time I've done all the editing, and then spent possibly the best part of an hour and a half trying to upload the file, I thought I might as well just do a live stream. Oh yeah, good points. Good points I must put up if you don't want to know spoilers. I will be mentioning it. I shall mention it in the actual show. There's a minute to go. Right, we're almost there. There we go. Hello everyone and welcome to my first live stream. I was going to do this when I had 143 subscribers, but life ran away with me, and before you know it, I have 149. Yes! Unfortunately, I'm not like those other Linus-based websites where they get 1 million and just sit there and go, oh, this is great. No, I appreciate everyone. The purpose of this video is that we're with an Apple event just around the corner, and it's so tantalizingly close. It's just literally a few hours away. I thought I'd do a rumour roundup, because by the time I've got to record this, done all the editing, dropped all the images in, done a whole host of other stuff that's made it way too complicated, I thought, well, let's just do a live stream. So, I'll be saying this throughout the live stream. Possible spoilers ahoy. These are all rumours. These are all going to be in the sources that I'll put down below in the notes thing when I finish recording, and if I do a separate upload of this. So, spoiler alert, and I will keep saying the words spoiler alert. And thank you to everyone who's watching. I am bricking it just a little bit because I don't do things. But anyway, let's crack on with this. You've probably heard all the rumours, but I thought what we'll do here, again, spoilers, is just put them all together and we'll have it in one nice thing, because then we can go, after the event, we can go back and see how right and wrong they were. So, with that in mind, this year we're going to get 4 iPhones. This is going to be interesting. So we're going to have the iPhone 12 Mini, which is a 5.4 inch screen, 64 gig at 649, 128 gig at 699, and 256 gig at 799. With interesting to note here, the new iPhone SE, which I've used by the way, it reminds me of the first time I felt a 7. It just felt like a brand new device, even though the top and the bottom bezels are really, really distracting when compared to... Make sure I've got nothing on my phone here. Hang on. No, get rid of that. You notice the top and the bottom on the iPhone SE. It's quite big. So, but the new the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11 have 6.1 inch screens. So now we come on to what we call the 12s. I don't know why I did air quotes then. Who knows? The 6.1 inch iPhone 12 is going to start at $749 for 64 gig. 128 gig is $799 and 256 gig is $899. And I still wonder why we even have 64 gig, because this is 64 gig. Is it going to focus? No, there we are. Anyway, I made my metaphorical point that these are only like 20, 30 quid for 64 gig. And I know I know there's a lot more technology involved, but and I'll come back to this. I do have a point about this. Let's get on with the iPhone 12 Pro. And now this one starts at 128 gig for $999. So we're back up to the iPhone 10 levels where it's $1,000, but this was 64 gig. So in 2 years, we're doubling the memory, keeping the same price. The next up was 256 for $1,099, which seems really nice, and I've got a theory about that. And then 512 gig is $1,299, and then we have the Pro Max. This is going to have a 6.7-inch screen, start again at 128 gig, and this is the real interesting thing, because apparently the 128 gig starts at $1,099, so you can have all the power of the Pro for the same price as for the Pro Max, I should say, for the size of the Pro, and I bet we're going to get better battery life in it as well. So this is a bit of a wild card. The 512 gig version is $1,399, so it's an interesting setup here, and I thought this would work if you have the same device and the only thing that's really different is the screen size. Then it works out perfectly. You're paying for the screen, you know you're going to get a bit of extra battery life, maybe one or two small features. But if you have 4 phones and all you've got to do is decide on maybe 3 of them are just a different size but more or less the same base, and then you've got the big one, it makes it easier. But already we're hearing reports that the iPhone Mini, as we're going to call it, has a slightly lower battery life, which is understandable given how it's going to be. And I've just come across, let's see if this is going to work. Let's do an image switch. Hey, look at this. Look at this. So apparently the iPhone 12 Pro Max, apparently we're going to see, I'll cover all this in a second, Smart HDR, Deep Fusion, Night Mode. The key differentiator between the iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max will be sensor sizes, with the Max packing a 47% larger sensor. It's suddenly, as I'm getting into my video, and I will say my Canon M50 is looking at me as if to say, but we've been such good friends. We've done so much together. And it's tantalizingly close to say goodbye to the M50, but I still love you. You've always been there. Anyway, let's get back on with things. What else do we know? Well, we don't know. And if I should have started this, what do we know was going to happen in the Apple event? Nothing. That's the whole point. No, we don't know anything. Again, more spoilers are coming, potentially. Now let's go back to the other scene. There we go. I don't have one of those fancy decks like the proper YouTubers to do all this seamlessly. What else can we be looking at? So the iPhone 12 is expected to have faster Face ID. Allegedly, instead of just scanning the whole face, it will pick up on parts of the face and do sciencey stuff. So it could be that if you're wearing a face mask, we're going to get better unlock because it might just work on that bit there as a suggestion. We got improved optical and digital zoom, where we get that every year. So that's a nice incremental increase. A macro-light camera mode. Now, again, this is interesting. And if it's only the Pro Max that's going to have this, then depending on how it works and how good the software works, I might not need a camera that has different lenses for every single thing. I know there was going to be a difference in image quality and it's not so sharp and nothing will beat a bigger lens, but for general ease of use, it's tempting. It's not. I don't see it replacing the DSLR or mirrorless or anything like that. But is this sort of signaling the end of like cameras designed for vloggers? Because you can take the video, and providing you've got enough storage in your iCloud, which, by the way, pains me because all of their storage tiers seem to be a gentle sort of push, as if to say, well, you're going to need to buy more storage from us. You're going to need to buy more space. I've just been thrown off there a bit by an image coming through. This is the best bit about doing live stuff. Right, where are we at? So, and what else we got? We got a better low light camera. Now, this I'm really looking forward to. I use an app called, I should have thought about this before I did this, Neural Cam, which on the iPhone 10 basically does a long exposure. And I've got to say, I've taken some really, really impressive shots in low light. Now, if Apple can do that from the get-go, that would be absolutely brilliant. And I think it's pretty much a definite thing because the Google Pixel, what are we on, 4a? Yeah, that's the one. That's a compelling bit of hardware. 500 quid for a powerful device that takes great pictures. It's the same bit of hardware. My dislike of Android isn't so much a dislike, it's just the, what's the word I'm looking for? The lack of usage, the familiarity, that's the word I'm looking for. What else we got? 4K recording at 240 FPS. Oh, finally, I can do those super sexy slow motion shots that you see in almost all YouTube videos. And again, this is why for 128 gig, you'd probably get away with it. You just have to manage your photos and your videos way better than I do. Now, hang on a sec. Now, apparently we're going to see battery life improvements across the board, although the 5.4-inch iPhone 12 mini won't match the iPhone 11's battery life because of its smaller size. Are we going to see Apple say you can get up to an hour or an hour and a half? Are we going to get a 20% or some percentage figure of battery life? I'm going to go with a percentage figure. Now, also on battery life, and I've been reading a few stories about 5G, it's not my strong point. The latest rumours have it that to increase the battery life, the iPhones will have 5G, but they're going to be in more of a predominant 4G mode, and then when you start doing stuff, I don't know why I did air quotes then, you're going to get you're going to go over to 5G. So the idea is that when you're generally browsing, 4G uses less battery power. Well, I don't know. I still stick to 3G because I like my battery life. When you go on to, when you're doing we don't know how it's going to work, because if you're streaming, does it know you're streaming? How will it know you're streaming? If it was a download, it would know the size of the download. So how is it going to work when you're pulling like a stream or a movie? I can see it working really well with Apple TV. If you haven't seen Ted Lasso, and I'm looking at you, Madden, then go and watch Ted Lasso because it's bloody brilliant. So yeah, so what will happen is if you're out and about, you haven't got 4G, if you're in a 5G area and you're using your phone casually, it sticks to 4G unless you start using it heavily, which sounds good. Charging. Let's have a look at this. I've got down here, are we going to get reverse wireless charging? That's one of my rumours. I just made that up as I was going along. I'm just going to check the chat. Bear with me. I'm trying to do two things at once here. Oh, there we go. Oh, and yeah, I've got another sub. I'm at 150 now. My aim for domination is coming true. Where were we at? Sorry. Yes, reverse charging. I thought it would have been nice to have the AirPods and just every now and again stick them on in charge. I don't see Apple doing that. I think it's more important for their devices to have good battery life than to rely on topping them out in the field. I thought about this as well. Like, for example, when I go to London and see some friends, I'm always the one who has the battery problem. And then I thought, well, if I'm nicking battery from someone else's phone, then we'd end up with two phones with not a lot of battery. So maybe making the situation worse. I mean, for AirPods and maybe the watch would be fine. If you've used wireless charging, leave a comment down below. That would be good. Right, so what do we got now? Okay, we've got Dolby. Okay, so we've gone into improved. I'll go from my notes here. So we're going to have improved night mode with more deep fusion, which means they're going to leverage the beast of a processor that they're going to have in those iPhones. Coming back to those, I reckon we'll have two chips. I reckon we'll have the A14 and then the A14 Bionic. I think that's going to be the big differentiator as well, I think. This means we're going to get Hang on, I've lost. Oh, where am I at on my notes? Bear with me. Yes, so better performance on the camera, more deep fusion, more, and I bet we're going to hear a lot of this machine learning and AI. I bet that's going to be really, really hammered home. What else we got? So on the video as well, we've got Dolby Vision HDR recording. Yes, I will admit I'm old and I only have a 1080p TV, so all this HDR stuff for me is completely irrelevant. I don't know if it's going to make the jump, but from people who have HDR, I'm hearing very good things about it. And let's face it, anything they can do to just make pictures look better and have better quality, more ranges of colours, that's just a good thing. And we see this year in, year in, year. And we're going to take a little side bet. Who do we think will announce it? Are we going to go with Phil, or are we going to go with Craig, or a random person? What else have I got? Yes, and finally, on all the iPhones, we're going to get a Super Retina XDR display branding, which suggests their displays are brighter and more color accurate than the iPhone 11 series. However, it doesn't quite work when you got night mode on or night shift on, because I do a lot of editing at night, and I'm going, why does everything just look a bit sort of dark and a bit bland? And that's because I've got night mode turned on. But I wouldn't live without it. I'm still surprised the amount of people who don't have it turned on. Right, so that covers the iPhones. Is anyone in chat, if there's anyone there? In fact, I'm just going to try and feel while I see how many people are watching. Where is it? Two people are watching. Marvellous. Anyone out there got any more comments regarding the iPhone? Well, I just take a small drink of water. In fact, I don't know if I've got anyone watching now. It appears that my stream might have died, but I'm recording it, so I've got something to save. So let's go on to the next product, I should say, the Apple HomePod Mini. And, excuse me. So, what do we got here? The HomePod Mini is reportedly going to be a 3.3 speaker. That's apparently going to be £99 on its release, or $99, sporting an S5 chip. Kang, one of the most accurate. I don't like that. I don't like this. The most accurate. I mean, Ming Chi quote. Has anyone actually done a statistical analysis of how many times he gets it right versus how many times he chucked things out on any of them? And the answer is no, because that would require journalism, and there's no room for journalism when you've got rumours. A complete rant. Anyway, Kang has tweeted, HomePod Mini priced at $99, 3.3 speaker, S5 processor. Most places are scheduled for pre-order on November 6th, November 7th, released on the 16th of 17. Please wait for the domestic release. I don't know what that last bit is. Now, being powered by the S5 sounds very interesting, because that's the same chip you find in the Apple Watch Series 5. So there's quite a lot of grunt there. And I believe the HomePod, the big one, that's powered by Series 8? No, it's got an 8 in it. I can't remember off the top of my head. I should have looked it up. Now, where it gets a bit more interesting, so small speaker, yep, it's a bit bigger than my Echo Dot, not as big as the Amazon Echo Studio. What's going to make this interesting is that this, along with the new Apple TV, which suddenly came out of nowhere, is Apple are getting into gaming and we're going to have a really powerful Apple TV. Yeah, okay, whatever. They're going to have ultra wideband chips in them. So what this allows you to do is precisely track your location as you walk inside the house with other devices. So if you've got a phone or a watch that has the U1 chip in it, you walk in and theoretically it could turn lights on or turn the heating on and basically do all the stuff with HomeKit we wanted years ago, but then Apple took so long to come out of the gate and it was so expensive that now Amazon, Alexa and Google have just basically wiped the floor with them. Now, if Apple do release this product at $99, this is a seismic change for them, because suddenly they've gone from high-end products with a high-end price to sort of entering the more mainstream, the more middle, easy-to-access consumer market. And that seems a very un-Apple thing to do. Now, given, can Apple make a nice-sounding speaker? Yes. But Amazon have just introduced the Amazon Echo Studio, link down below. It's my affiliate link, by the way. If you click on that, I get a very small kickback if you use Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's $139. It's bigger than the HomePod Mini. You can argue that Alexa is... Nope, she didn't go off. Is way more capable than the Siri. And plus, now at the moment, with the Black Friday deals, you're getting cheap plugs, cheap light bulbs. You can do so much with it. It just sounds like a mini speaker that could be done, but if it's got the U1 chip to track you around the house, that could be a good point. But is it a bit questionable to release a speaker that could just be seen as like an accessory for a new product, rather than releasing a fully featured product that you could use to all of its ability now? So, for example, I would get one if it sounds half decent, and I swear to God, Alexa just went off then. She's listening. Anyway, if it does come out at that price, I'd buy one as long as it has decent sound. That's first and foremost. I'd like a way for it to have more integration with podcasts to make it easier. So at the moment, AirPlane kind of works. I'd just like to be able to yell it. What I want to be able to do is yell at my speaker and say, play this podcast, and it picks up from the time point left on my phone. Don't know if that's going to be possible. But what I'd really like it to do, and this to me would be almost a killer feature, if it's right next to my Apple TV, let me use it as a speaker. Because we all know, for the majority, most TV speakers absolutely suck. So fingers crossed for that. It's a bold move. I would be very, very surprised if it's $100. And if it is $100, they're going to do the Apple thing and they're going to miss something that we would like to have in it. It'll be, but they'll do it in the next release, which is what we normally get. Right, that's that covered. I'm just going to check the stream, see if anyone's here. Yes, 2 people. Awesome. We're still going. We're still live. How's the audio sounding, everyone? And by the way, I've got the lava lamp on today. I actually had a interaction with someone called Kevin, the basic filmmaker, on YouTube, and I thought I would catch him out. So he says, ask me anything, blah blah blah. And so I asked, if you could improve anything on my stream, what would it be? And he said, turn on the lava lamp. So thank you, Kevin. Duly noted. And Carl's watched all of Ted Lasso, finally. Right, what else can we have here? We're almost there, so don't worry. This isn't going to be a long stream. AirPods Studio. Now, it looks like these are going to be binned off till next year, which means in the podcast I was on, I thought we were in for an hour 57 long stream from Apple today. I think more an hour and 20. I think they're just going to blast through it. So these were going to be high-end headphones, noise cancelling, made of luxurious parts, all that sort of stuff you would expect from Apple. Very little in the way of how do they work, why will they work, will it have a new processor in. There's been no, from what I've seen, there's been no references to it in iOS, where if there was something to be leaked, that reminds me, hang on. If there was something that was going to be leaked about the AirPods Studio, then there would have been. Oh, coming back to the iPhone, forgot to say, we're going to get a smaller notch. Only by a couple of millimeters, but we're going to get a smaller notch. So it's a small win. The one thing about the AirPods Studio is that these headphones were going to start at $600. And apparently there was going to be a sport variant, which is $350. I don't know, But I'm guessing the type of people who would buy these headphones, we're starting to get into sound engineer quality level headphones. So they would have to be something special, and it just seems a strange market for Apple to get into. I mean, obviously they've done their research, and obviously if you're going to buy headphones, you're going to buy Apple Music, because as I said on the podcast, Apple, I think now, is a company that builds hardware to bolster their services. And I know that sounds obvious, and I know they've been doing it for a while, but it's becoming a bit more obvious now. You look at Apple One with their storage tiers, and let me see if I can find that. This is going to be a bit of interesting to do. Go for my notes. One day I'm going to organise all my notes. There we go. So Apple One was going to give you, on the basic storage, 50 gig a month, which seems pointless because you can't actually back up your device. If you get anywhere near halfway, 3/4 of the way full, you can't back up your full device. So then you go up to the next storage tier, which is 200 gig, which is designed for sharing. And if you use 4 devices, you can actually only store 33 gig per device. So if it's 2 of you, you're sound. If there's 3 of you, you're out of luck. And of course, 2 terabytes for $6.99 a month. That seems. I know it's obvious. I know they're designed to buy you into the services, but this has become a little bit too. I don't know if it's the right word, Carl. You can pick me up on this. Egregious. What else we got to go through? I swear I'm almost done. Just give me 3 more minutes of your time. The Apple HomePod 2, the originally debuted in 2018. There was a rumour, which I think someone just said, you know what? That's not had an update for a while. And they've just sort of plugged it in. I didn't know you could do this. Hang on a sec. I didn't realise I had to click a button to add you to the thing. Sorry, guys. You're learning something new. Seamless. So no HomePod 2. I like the idea of the HomePod. They have come down a little bit in price. I think if I could afford it, which is what I'm saying about a lot of Apple products, is I would definitely get it. But right now, the Sonos one does a perfectly good job, and I don't need it, yet I want it. And I think that covers the rumour roundup as of 3 o'clock. Don't know what time it'll be. So it'll be 6 a.m. in America for all the rumours as of 3 o'clock GMT. Now, what we're not going to get is the AirPods Studio, which seemed a bit weird because we've already got the AirPods Pro. Sorry, I've repeated myself. Apparently, there was going to be another AirPods Pro. That's what I meant to say. AirTags are going to be. We're still waiting to see what happens with them. And of course, the big one where apparently we're going to have an event in November for the new Macs. That's the one I want to see. I've got a betting. I don't want it to be a laptop, though. This is the thing. I don't want it to be a laptop because this setup here, the new version of the iPad, if you were to get a nice size iPad with the floating keyboard, you don't have to get a floating keyboard, you're up to the price. Come on. I'll let the camera sort itself out. You're up to the price of 1,200 quid. So where is this new Apple Silicon going to sit? I'd like it to replace the Mac Mini, but then if it does that, are we going to have a 4K capable gaming Apple TV or the Apple TV 4K with just extra processing power to play games? So it's going to be very, very interesting. I would have thought, and I would have liked it, if they'd just gone straight in with an iMac, because I've got an old iMac here, 2011. I love it to bits. Unfortunately, the lightning strike knocked out the network port on it. I've just rattled there. What's going on? I've looked at, how do I get rid of that chat thing? There we go. Click that. I've looked at trying to upgrade it, and it's not worth it. And now it's just, sadly, spares and repairs. And I think that'll do. Somehow, I've been going for 38 minutes. If anyone got any questions down in the bottom there, have you got any thoughts on the rumours, on the news? Is there anything that I've missed? Is there anything that you're particularly looking out for? I think for me, if the HomePod Mini does come out, I'll get that, because as much as I love my Sonos, I've hooked it up to my Echo Dot, and I just like to sort of just be able to talk to it directly. So I don't need it; it'd just be nice. And the iPhone that I would probably go for, it would have to be. I'm very torn between the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. It all depends on not so much the size, but I think the Pro, unless the camera is outstandingly good. And then I'll just have to sell everything, including, if anybody wants to buy a second-hand liver so I can fund my Apple lifestyle, get in touch. And I think that will do it, because I'm running out of water and, quite frankly, I need a cup of tea. So thank you very, very much for watching. And get rid of that there. Thank you very... Carl said, a new Apple TV. Yes. Let's add that to the broadcast. Yes, a new Apple TV. What could we say about that? We would expect it to be 4K, even bigger processor. If it has the U1 chip in there, that would be good. I could see maybe the Apple TV... Oh, hang on. What about if the new Apple speaker worked best with the new Apple TV? Then you've got your you got your bundle. Then you'd obviously, you'd be trying Apple Music, because they'll probably give you a 3-month trial with it. Then you'd be trying Apple TV. So then you've got that whole ecosystem. So Carl's looking forward to the, as you can see there, let's add this, whoops. So HomePod Mini, if there are cheaper HomeKit products that come out, yes. This is, and I think we had a discussion off the air where we both like the fact of Siri and HomeKit, but Apple Home hasn't been updated for ages. The principle was fine. The reason why HomeKit apparently took so long to come out is because Apple wanted custom hardware in there to make it nice, safe, and secure, as Apple does. Whereas Alexa and... She's not gone off. Normally she's twitchier than someone from Merthyr Tydfil who's been out on an evening, but tonight she's behaving. Apparently the hardware that they wanted was making things so expensive. So you had a few things, I believe, from Eve, like a plug that was 40 quid, or the thermostats, they went in at the top end. And that's great. But then when you see stuff that's coming out at the bottom end and you're thinking, what's the differentiator here? Why would I spend twice as much for a plug? I mean, if you go on to Amazon now, you can pick up a great deal on LIFX products right now. Anything else? I think that pretty much covers it. I've got to wrap up now because I'm getting a flashy symbol on my camera. Just I don't know why I'm pointing to it. You can't see it. So I might as well just wrap up. I'm going to go get a cup of tea. Thank you everyone for watching. I might try and do an offline edit of this and put some more splicey stuff in. Let's see if I can get the focus back. Thank you to Kevin for telling me to put on the lava lamp. Thank you to my assistant for lending me the flowers. That's my old MacBook there. And who knows? Or JP Morales, the iPhone event will be about 5G speeds. No, I think it will be more about the battery life and conserving battery life, possibly. I think everyone's already been discussing the benefits of 5G speed. I think there will be a couple of slides. Am I in focus? Yes, I am. Cheers, Carol. I think there will be a couple of slides that mention 5G speed. I think there will be a big push on, how do we say this, on how it's going to intelligently manage it. I think that's the thing, because without going into too much detail, because I don't understand it between you and me, that you've got the shortwave 5G, which company in the UK have got the most bandwidth for, and then you've got the big 5G, and hopefully they'll be able to explain it and break it all down in that. Yes, they are going to mention speed, obviously, because they like to mention it. I think there'll be a bigger focus on speed in so much of the processor and the machine learning and the AI and the deep sense and all that processing. I think that's what they'll probably focus on. What about the A14 Bionic chip? Yes, I think that will probably go into the iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max. I'm sort of seeing that they'll have like the same processor they've got on the iPhone SE 2020. I think they'll have that in the two bottom two. What am I doing air quotes all the time? Where's this come from? The two bottom level iPhones, I think, will have the A14, and then we'll get the A14X in the bad boys, in the... I almost wanted to call them proper iPhones. I still don't like this thing of 4 iPhones. I think the iPhone SE is such a cracking camera, and so for most people, and I used one the other day, for most people, the iPhone SE is a beast, apart from the screen size. And even now, it looks, because of the top and the bottom, it looks artificially small. It looks like Tim's gone, you know what, we've still got quite a few of the screens left. Right, stick a new processor in and whack them out. It is a nice phone. I've been on several shows where I've had a debate about, well, could it replace my 10? No, but for raw processing power, definitely. But then we come back. Pretty sure do that. Oh yes, I forgot. I'm typing away, and the sound is still live. Yeah, apologies. My battery died, even though I charged it. Yep. So I guess I'll wrap this up now. I'm going for 45 minutes, which was precisely 37 minutes longer than I thought I had. Yes, we've only got a few hours to wait. In fact, 3 hours. I will probably do a follow-up show. JP Morales says, how good are displays without 120 hertz? To that, I think I would say, have you had any problems with your phone as it is? Just, obviously depending if you have a good phone, that is. In fact, my camera's just come back on. Yeah, because it's charging. No, I'm not going to push it. We've 120 hertz. Yes, it is like ProRes on the iPad. It's nice, fast, smooth, and yes, you've brought up a good point. I forgot to cover this in my in my iPhone 12-bit. The reason we're not getting 120 hertz is apparently all down to battery life. Apple's devices are thinner. They're known for having smaller batteries than the competitors. And a mixture of always on 4G, tapping into 5G with a brighter display, with more nits. I think of all the compromises to make, given what it's going to do, not having 120 hertz screens. Yes, it's a bit gutting, but more or less understandable. I don't think it's anything to worry about unless anyone out there disagrees with me. Anyone else? Any other thoughts before I do a final wrap up? Which is always a pain in the backside to ask, by the way, because there's a stream delay. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now. Again, everyone, thank you very, very much for tuning in. This was completely impromptu. The reason I did this was purely because by the time I would have done a video, added all the edits, all the transitions, all the still images, it would have been tomorrow before I got anything released. Please consider doing a like and subscribe to the channel. I might do a live follow-up afterwards. I'm not entirely sure yet. Now we've got all the rumours written down. I might just go ahead and do a complete rumour roundup. I've got a bit of battery life in the camera. Let's just swap the scene over. All the joys of going live. Right, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Do consider clicking on the like button. It does mean a lot. I'm a small YouTuber and I'm just having fun. Maybe tickle that subscribe button and do a notification. Yeah, I knew it was too good to last. And stay tuned. I do things like reviews. I've got the 10 to Impress where I play stuff on Apple Arcade, and the Shelf of Procrastination where I review my old junk. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you all enjoy the live stream from Apple later on. Look out for a follow-up, and ta-da! So, right, I'm now going to cut the stream. Again, I might do an offline version of this. Thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. Again, do consider a like, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm a really small YouTuber. And as someone who I know would say, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon.